Most people have been brainwashed to believe that when it comes to street fighting, only the flashy martial arts matter, the ones they see in Hollywood movies or on big stages like the UFC. They're told that if they don't learn boxing, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, or Muay Thai, they'll stand no chance in a real-life street fight. And here's the dangerous part. People actually believe this lie. They think that street fights are controlled environments with referees, rules, and safety measures. But reality is the opposite. Street fights are unpredictable, chaotic, and ugly. They don't follow rules. They don't wait for you to get ready. And they definitely don't reward style points. Now here's where most people fail. They prepare for the wrong kind of fight. They train for tournaments, for points, for showing off techniques that look great on camera, but crumble the moment you're grabbed, slammed, or blindsided on the pavement. And this is why so many lose when it matters most. They are confident until reality hits them, and then panic. That's when they realize the martial art they trusted their life with was never designed for dirty, no-rules combat. But let me plant this seed in your mind. What if the most effective martial arts for the streets aren't the popular ones? What if the deadliest systems are the ones nobody talks about, the ones overshadowed by hype, ignored because they're not glamorous, or dismissed because they don't have shiny belts or massive tournaments? You see, the truth is, survival doesn't come from what looks impressive. It comes from what works when your back is against the wall. And that's exactly what we're about to uncover. Think about it like this. A street fight isn't about who's stronger, faster, or more athletic. It's about who's prepared for the unexpected. It's about the martial artist who knows how to fight when they're outnumbered, when weapons are involved, or when the fight goes to the ground on concrete. That's why underrated martial arts are so dangerous. They were built for brutality, for war, for survival in environments far more hostile than a street fight. These arts don't waste time with tradition or fancy uniforms. They were designed to end violence as fast and as ruthlessly as possible. And here's the catch. Most people will never study them. Why? Because society has conditioned fighters to chase popularity instead of practicality. They think learning the mainstream arts will make them tough. But in reality, it makes them predictable. Everyone knows how a boxer fights. Everyone knows what a wrestler will try. Everyone knows the typical moves of a kickboxer, but almost no one is ready for the unexpected, unconventional techniques that these underrated martial arts bring to the table. That unpredictability, that shock factor, is exactly what gives you the upper hand when fists start flying in the real world. So before we dive into the list, I need you to do one thing. Forget what you think you know about fighting. Forget the sports you've been told are the best. Forget the Instagram highlights and Hollywood lies. Open your mind, because the next few minutes are going to expose you to arts that the majority of people will never even consider. But the few who understand them will hold a weapon far more valuable than muscles or speed, the weapon of surprise. If you're someone who wants a real edge in survival, if you don't just want to fight but to dominate when chaos erupts, then stay glued. By the end of this video, you'll understand why ignoring these martial arts is the biggest mistake any fighter can make, and why learning even a handful of techniques from them can make you nearly untouchable in a street fight. 1. Sambo, the Russian science of street survival. When people hear about Russian martial arts, they usually laugh, because it's not glamorous. But let me tell you, Sambo was designed for the exact scenario most martial artists fear: unpredictable violence. Born out of Soviet military experiments, Sambo was never about sport. It was about creating soldiers who could crush enemies quickly, whether armed or unarmed. Unlike judo or wrestling, which focus on control, Sambo focuses on breaking joints, breaking balance, breaking willpower. Now imagine this in a street fight. You're grabbed from behind. Most boxers freeze. A Sambo fighter? He instantly rips you off balance with a leg reap, slams you into concrete, And while you're disoriented, he cranks your arm in directions it was never meant to bend. In seconds, the fight is over. What makes Sambo terrifying is that it doesn't waste time. The throws are sharp, the submissions cruel, and the fighters are trained to adapt under chaotic pressure. On the street, that means they don't hesitate. They end things fast. And the best part? Hardly anyone trains against Sambo, which means, in a real fight, you're not just stronger, you're unpredictable. Second, silat, the forgotten art of ruthless efficiency. Silat is one of those arts people dismiss as exotic dancing. And that's exactly why it's so dangerous, because they don't understand it until it's too late. Originating from Southeast Asia, silat was created for battlefield survival in jungles filled with knives, sticks, and ambushes. This isn't an art of elegance, it's an art of destruction. Every movement has a hidden blade, a joint break, or a crippling strike woven into it. In a street fight, silat doesn't play around. While a boxer is winding up a jab, a silat practitioner is already attacking the eyes, crushing the throat, or tearing ligaments with low-line kicks that most fighters don't even see coming. Silat thrives on deception. Movements look harmless until suddenly they're disabling you. And here's the chilling truth. Silat doesn't train you to fight for points. It trains you to leave your opponent unable to continue. Brutality is the goal. Speed is the tool. When you mix silat with street conditions, tight spaces, multiple opponents, improvised weapons, you suddenly realize why it was never designed to look pretty. It was designed to keep you alive. 3. Lethwei, the art of 9 limbs. Everyone praises Muay Thai as the king of striking, but Lethwei, the Burmese version, makes Muay Thai look civilized. Why? Because in Lethwei, not only are punches, kicks, elbows, and knees allowed, but so are headbutts. Yes, headbutts. Now imagine this in a street fight. People aren't expecting elbows, let alone a skull crashing into their face. That kind of unpredictability gives Lethwei practitioners a savage edge. Another reason Lethwei is underrated is because it trains fighters for pain tolerance. Matches often go until someone can't continue, meaning practitioners are conditioned to absorb and deliver punishment at a level most martial artists can't handle. In the street, that means they don't crumble under a hard punch. They keep coming forward, breaking the attacker's will with raw aggression. And here's the kicker. In a sport like boxing, people are conditioned to stop when the ref intervenes. In Lethwei, the mentality is different. The fight doesn't end until one person can't fight anymore. That ruthless mindset alone makes Lethwei fighters terrifying opponents in real-world combat. 4. Karv Maga, the art designed for chaos. Now, a lot of people roll their eyes at Karv Maga because they've seen watered-down versions in fancy gyms. But let's rewind to its real origin. Karv Maga was built for Israeli soldiers fighting in life-or-death situations, often against multiple armed attackers. There are no points, no belts, no rules. It's a system of survival. Karv Maga teaches one thing: end the threat as fast as humanly possible. What makes it different from mainstream martial arts is its obsession with targeting the body's weakest points: eyes, throat, groin, joints. And unlike sports martial arts, it incorporates weapons and disarms. Think about that for a second. If someone pulls a knife on you, how many martial arts prepare you for that? Almost none. Karv Maga does. The beauty of Karv Maga lies in its simplicity. No fancy moves, just primal, brutal efficiency. A stomp to the knee, a strike to the throat, an elbow to the temple. In a street fight, where chaos is the rule, simplicity always wins. And Karv Maga is built on that principle. 5. Savate, the gentleman's street kickboxing. Now here's one hardly anyone talks about. Savate, or French kickboxing. At first glance, it looks like stylish, almost elegant kicking. But don't be fooled. Savate kicks are razor-sharp, whip-like strikes designed to cripple legs, smash ribs, and break faces with surgical precision. Unlike Muay Thai's heavy roundhouse, savate kicks snap in with incredible speed and accuracy, making them nearly impossible to defend against if you don't expect them. In the street, savate gives you a unique advantage: range. Most street fighters expect wild punches or sloppy grappling. They're not ready for a boot heel driven into their shin, ribs, or face before they even get close. And here's the manipulative beauty. Because savate is so rare, nobody knows how to counter it. When you're throwing precise kicks at an unprepared opponent, it feels like they're moving in slow motion. One clean savate strike, and the fight can end before it even begins. 6. Systema, the psychological assassin's art. Finally, we have Systema, another Russian martial art that's been shrouded in mystery. Many people dismiss it as fake because they don't understand it. But let's break the truth. Systema isn't just about fighting. It's about controlling the mind, breath, and body under extreme stress. Unlike most martial arts, which train you to follow set patterns, Systema teaches you to flow with whatever happens, whether that's one attacker, multiple opponents, or even weapons. Here's the terrifying part. Systema fighters don't move like normal fighters. Their strikes come from relaxed, unpredictable angles, making them hard to read and even harder to defend. They use biomechanics and psychology to exploit fear, hesitation, and pain. It's almost unsettling, facing someone who doesn't tense up, doesn't panic, and doesn't fight the way you expect. On the street, that unpredictability is a weapon by itself. And because Systema emphasizes efficiency and relaxation, its practitioners don't gas out. They remain calm while their opponents burn out. Systema isn't about winning a match. It's about ending violence while staying in control. And that psychological dominance is something almost no martial art can replicate. So, there you have it. The martial arts nobody talks about, but the ones that could actually decide whether you walk away from a street fight or get carried away. Now, I'm curious, which of these do you think would save you in a real fight? Are you the type to snap bones with Sambo, go full jungle warrior with Silat, or just headbutt your way to victory with Lethway? Drop your answer in the comments, because trust me, this is where the real fight begins. And remember, talking about martial arts online is way safer than testing them on the pavement. Unless, of course, you enjoy hospital bills.